For this project, you will need your craft mat, a heat tool, 4 different types of ATCs. I have a craft ATC, corrugated ATC, and this is what it looks like. It comes in packages of 10. I have a glossy paper, like these ones, and I also have one that is sticky back, and this one comes in a package of 20 cards. A bucket of water with 2 paint brushes, a smaller one and a bigger one, a palette knife, Claudine Helmet Studio Gesso, bubblegum pink dilution ink spray, Claudine Helmet Studio semi-gloss acrylic paint in Painterly Pink, lettuce and salmon alcohol inks, the alcohol blending solution, an ink applicator with a sponge for the paint, and an ink applicator and a sponge in the crushed olive distress ink pad. You'll also need the 2 following Pitt Artist Pen by Faber-Castell in ruby metallic and black, 3D stamp paints in violet metallic and moss green metallic, the butterfly mask set by Maya Road, Moulin Rouge flats by Dress It Up, the mini hexagon 6x6 template by Balzer Designs from the Crafters Workshop, as well as the damask embossing folders by Tim Holtz. Here are the 4 surfaces we're working on, and 2 of them will emboss. We'll emboss the craft one as well as the canvas ATC. I will emboss these 2 pieces at the same time inside the damask folder. And I've got my 2 pieces embossed right here. This is our canvas embossed ATC, and we're going to take a mask from the butterfly mask set by Maya Road. We're just going to lay that butterfly down like this. I'll just put a little bit of the paint on my craft mat. This is the Painterly Pink paint by Claudine Helmet Studio. And I'm going to distribute the paint evenly onto the sponge. And holding my mask, I'm just going to very lightly start going over the whole canvas. Oops. And as you can see, only the raised portions will be colored. And while still holding the butterfly in place, I'll take the ruby metallic Pitt Artist Pen by Faber-Castell, and I'm just going to lightly trace around the butterfly. Just so that I have the outline. Next, I want to take my violet metallic 3D stamp paint, and I want to paint in the butterfly. Here we go. We're not finished with this, but we're just going to set it aside to dry for now. Now I'm going to add some crushed olive distress ink on the outline of that ATC. Alright, so now we've got that pink and the crushed olive that comes through, and I like that. I forgot to mention in the list of supplies that you'll need a felt applicator. Now we're going to work with salmon and lettuce alcohol inks. And I'm going to lay down that butterfly right here. And I'm going to start applying the ink. Let's put some lettuce on this. So I've got some color on there. I'm going to put the alcohol blending solution right now. Now we're going to remove that. Look how pretty. We've got a beautiful butterfly. With the Embossed Kraft cardstock, I'm going to add a layer of gesso and then cleaning up a little bit just so that the gesso fills in its fills the debossed areas. And I'm going to dip this in water just a little bit. I'm going to make sure that I fill in the debossed areas. Like this. And then I'm going to take a wet rag and just gloss over the raised portion. And it just gives us a nice antique look, which I really like. Like this. Next, I'm going to take worn lipstick with an ink applicator and a sponge, and I'm going to sponge over the butterfly. Well, that did turn out the way I expected it. Let's try something else. Let's put this mask back on. I'm going to take the bubblegum pink and just spray over like this. Ah, much better. It's quite bright, but we'll do something about this. I want to do a little bit of a contour with a crushed olive distressing, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. For the corrugated one, I want to give it a little touch of gesso, so I'm just going to have globs here and there, but not completely. So I still want to see the ridges of the corrugated cardstock. I'm going to dry this with my heat tool. Now I'm going to do the masking, and I'm going to put the butterfly right here. So I'm just going to spray over this with the bubblegum pink dilutions. Remove the mask. Pretty. I think this is a little too bubblegumish for me, so I'm going to tone it down with the painterly pink paint, and I'm just going to apply it with my fingers because I find I have better control with the fingers. Yeah, that's much better. Just going to add a little bit of gesso with my fingers because it's still too pink for me. All right. That's much better. I'm going to do this one and then I'll show you what it looks like. This one is visibly much better. And now I'm going to add some crushed olive distress ink. We're kind of getting a yellowish hue when we do this, but that's okay. This one I'll use the violet metallic. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of that. We're gonna lift this. Ah, look how cute that is. Oh, I'm loving this. I really like this. So I want to add the hexagon stencil over this, but it's textured. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try with a sponge. I did a little swatch on a different piece and it was kind of okay, so I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to dip my sponge and take off the excess right here. I mean, obviously it's not going to give us the same raised effect as it did on the Glossy ATC, but I'm going for the pattern this time around, so let's see how that's gonna work. Oh no! Oh yay, it worked! We're almost done. I think what I want to do is on each of the ones that have the hexagons in violet, I'm going to add a contour with my palette knife with the moss green, and I'm going to do the opposite for the ones that have the green. So I'm going to grab the moss green. I'm going to put these out of the way. And I'm just going to grab a little bit with my palette knife. And just kind of go around like that, and like this. So I'm going to do the same for this one here. I've taken rhinestones out of my Moulin Rouge flats, which I'm going to add to the center of my, or as in lieu of the head, I guess, of the butterfly with glossy accents. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And we're done. I'm going to let this dry thoroughly and I'll come back at the end and show you what they look like in our tray. And that concludes our ATC mini series. These are the 4 last ATCs that we've done, and I'm going to show them to you one by one. So this one is, let me zoom in. So this one was done on Kraft cardstock that we've embossed with the damask embossing folder. And this one's the canvas one. It's probably my favorite texture. I really like it. It's beautiful. And then we just went over it with some Claudine Helmet Studio paint in Painterly Pink. This one is probably the simplest that we've done, but I like the colors. They really pop. The background was done with some alcohol inks. I love these hexagons. I think on these ones, they really were a success, because it's a smooth surface. And our last one on corrugated cardstock, this one's very, very, very bright. The pink really shows through because I had added some gesso on the corrugated cardstock. So in the spots where it's darker, that's where the gesso wasn't fully embedded inside the ridges. But it's a different look. I like it. I like it a lot. And I love the rhinestones in the middle. If we pan out and we bring back our tray with all of the ATCs that we did, let's put them all in. So I'm going to put this one here, this one here, this one here, and here. Most of the other ones that we did are kind of like subdued, although shiny, but really subdued. I really needed a pop of color. So I thought that violet and the green 3D stamp paint would be the perfect addition to our tray. I like the splashes of pink and violet that we have throughout this, it just gives us that pop of color that we needed. And it also brings back the other ones to life. So I hope that you've enjoyed this mini series. I hope that you were able to play along with us. And if you have any questions, as usual, feel free to leave them in the comments below. As usual, thank you for watching, and we will see you next Friday with our regular One Take Fridays. Bye!